we have the new aim of the experiment is to determine the thermal conductivity of metal rod. It means last time we had seen the experiment on composite wall. So composite wall and metal rod, these are the two experiments which is fall under steady state condition. It means that whenever we have to perform these two experiments, we have to wait for a certain interval of time so that steady state condition get reached and the temperature should not change with time. Okay. So last
Yes,
time we
sir.
had heated with a heater and we had to wait some interval of time. And after that we come to know that there is no change of temperature. Like from T1 to T8, there was no change and then we can took a reading for our calculation. Similarly, we have to perform it here. Now, the purpose, we call this experiment to be the metal rod. Okay, the purpose is to determine the thermal conductivity of a metal rod. Now, metal rod is given to us is copper. So in our setup, the setup look like in this way. Okay, so this is the rod. Can you see the metal rod here? This is the metal rod. At one end of the metal rod, we have a heater. We supply the heat through this heater. At the other end of the metal rod, which is exposed to the cooling water jacket. So here we have a cooling water jacket. So this is the water inlet and this is the water outlet. We can correct it. And this is called a cooling water jacket. It means that we apply the heat from one end of the rod, the conduction will take place through a metal rod, and it has some thermal conductivity that is unknown for us, which we have to determine, and due to the thermal conductivity, the heat flows from one face of the metal rod to the other face of the metal rod, and other face it is exposed to the cooling water jacket where the amount of heat flows through a water. Okay, it means the same amount of is flowing through a water and the same amount of heat is flowing through a rod. And we need to calculate the unknown thermal conductivity. Now, in order to maintain the equilibrium condition, we are making use of insulation so that whatever the amount of heat we supply through the heater, it should flow in one direction instead of flowing in other direction. So this X direction we consider. Y direction, we have an insulation material, so no flow of heat will take place. Though some amount of heat will flow, but that amount of heat is we are neglecting. Okay, so Q of conduction will be Q is the amount of heat from the heater is equal to Q of conduction plus Q of convection plus Q of radiation. So both will get cancelled and conduction will consider. That we'll see in a calculation part. Now before proceeding, I like to show you one video of this metal rod. How the video is there. It is a live video. Yeah, I'll just play it for you. Okay, this is our experiment, our setup. In this setup, it will zoom in. It will give you the name of the experiment. Can you see the name of this experiment? It is thermal conductivity of metal rod. Can you see it? It is a
Yes, sir.
thermal conductivity of metal rod. Now, whichever setup we have in the heat transfer lab, each setup will have this nameplate, which will help you out to understand the number of temperatures. Because whatever thermocouples are there in the setup, that thermocouple's temperature is shown on the nameplate. Now here it is shown that T1 to T9, it is the temperature of test bar from heating end to cooling end. Do you understand? We have one metal rod, and from start to end of the metal rod, we have a distribution of the temperatures. That is a distribution of the thermocouples T1, T2, T3, T4 at various places. That you can see it here. This is the Can you see the metal rod? This is the metal rod where we have a temperature T1, T2, T3, T4, and so on till T9 it is there. Okay. The same thing it is shown here. T1 to T9. That is the temperature on the bar at various locations. Now T10, it is the water inlet temperature to cooling jacket. So this is the normal water temperature. And T11, when the water flow through a metal rod. So we have a water outlet temperature, which is more than the inlet temperature. Is it understood? If I play this video,
Yes, sir.
you understand what are the component is being used in this setup. Okay, now can you see the thermostat black tone color? We can apply, set the thermostat for the heat input, and it is running fast. Okay, we can see the thermostat here black color, that is to supply the heat through a heater to a metal rod. And when we adjust this thermostat, we can see the change of voltage, we can see the change of current, and once the steady state condition get reached, we can note down all the temperature from this temperature indicator. Okay. Now this thermostat we can set less than 100 degree or less than 100 watt. So we can set the temperature up to 60 watt, 80 watt. Now ammeter and voltmeter will help you out to setting the heat to the heater. Can you see this part? Here, this is the metal rod. Can you see this? This is the metal rod inside. At one end, we have a heater is here at the surface. Here we have a heater, and amount of heat flows through this metal rod. So one end of the metal rod, we have a heater. Other end of the metal rod, it is we have a cooling water jacket. So this act as a cooling water jacket. So here we have a thermocouples. So this look as a thermocouples at the inlet. And here this is the pipe. One is the thermocouple, one is the pipe. So to note down the temperature, inlet temperature of the water. And you can see the bottom part. This is again a thermocouple, and this is the outlet water. This is the outlet part of the water, so we can note down the inlet temperature and outlet temperature. And this is the hot rod inside. And the entire rod, it has been encloses by this shell. Okay. Now this shell, it is filled with a insulation. So you can refer to be insulation material has been filled here, so that whatever the amount of heat flows from a heater, it should flow in one direction, and the other direction of heat flow should be neglected. So whatever the heat reaches to the other end of the rod, now this rod, it is the hot rod, and the amount of water is flowing, so we have a change of temperature of the water. Now after this, can you see the jar at the bottom? Had shown one jar. Yeah, there is no jar kept here, but during the experiment we kept one jar here. Now this jar, it is to fill the water. It means whatever, it means once we on the inlet part, this is the inlet part. If you on this, the water will start flowing from inlet to the outlet. Okay, and that change of temperature will take place because of hot rod. And this outlet temperature we allow to flow into a jar, which is kept at the bottom. Okay, so once the jar it has been filled up to 1 liter or up to 30 centimeter, we note down the time. So we take a stopwatch, and when the moment we open this knob, the water will fill into the jar, and we note down the timing with the help of stopwatch. So when the jar has been filled up to 30 centimeter or 1 liter, then we stop the time. It means that we are doing this so that we can get the flow rate of the water that we already done in the FM lab. To get the flow rate of water, we flow the water into a container, and we note down the time. So we can get the flow rate as area into velocity. So area of a pipe, that is a jar, it is pi by 4 d square into the length of the jar, which is up to 30 centimeter, and divided by time. That is the time we are noting. So that will help you out to give the flow rate of the water. Once we get the flow rate, we can apply the amount of heat flow through a water, which is equal to the amount of heat flow through the rod. So in this way, we can do the entire calculation. Now again, I will take the help of same video to explain you the entire procedure, how the experiment should get carried. Only we have to remember this, how the setup look like. Understood it? I just stop here so that I can get a overview. Okay. Now what I have to do is, can you see this red color knob? I have to first on the switch. Once the switch is been on, I have to adjust the heat input to the heater, which is here near it is which is here, with the help of thermostat. So I can set the thermostat up to 60 watt, 80 watt, 100 watt. Below 100 watt, it will be more easy for me to perform practical. If I once the heat input is been set with the help of thermostat, I have to wait for a certain interval of time. Why I have to wait? Because heater it is been on and the amount of heat start flowing through a metal rod. So metal rod, we have different thermocouples at different location on a metal rod. So temperatures on the metal rod will keep on changing. So we have to wait till some interval of time so that equilibrium condition get reached. Once the equilibrium condition get reached, now further if you supply the same amount of heat, there is no change of temperature on the metal rod. It means the steady state condition got reached. Now there will be no change of temperature with respect to time. Even if I heat the rod for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, but the surface temperature of the metal rod will remain the constant. Now, once the steady state condition get reached, we can note down all the temperatures from T1 to T9. So when T1 to T9 temperature been noted, which is the temperature distributed on the metal rod. Then we'll slowly on make this knob on. When you keep this knob on, this is actually the inlet part and this is the outlet part. Okay. So the moment you put the knob on, the water will flow from inlet and will flow from outlet. So the amount of heat will flow through this water which is in contact with the metal rod. Okay, and the moment we can get the temperature as T10 and T11. So T1 to T9 is the temperature on the metal rod. T10 and T11 is the inlet and outlet temperature of the water cooling jacket. So in this way we can perform the practicals. Now the objective of this experiment is to determine the unknown thermal conductivity of the metal rod. We are not aware which type of material it is being used. As it is given in the explanation, it is copper material is being used. So for copper, we have to calculate the thermal conductivity K. Now if I get back to your diagram. Now same diagram we have a heater. This is the metal rod. One end of the metal rod is heated by with the help of heater. Other end of the rod it is exposed to the cooling water jacket. So it can be inlet part and this is the outlet part. Okay, and this rod it has been covered with an insulation so that one way of heat flow should take place and the other way that is to the ambient amount of heat losses should be minimized. I hope the diagram part is get clear to by you. Only the calculation part is been left.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, before proceeding, we're going to at least see the other part. Now, you can try to write the same manner. Aim apparatus. Apparatus used here is voltmeter, ammeter, digital temperature indicator, thermostat, and metal rod. Okay. And water cooling jacket and jar and all that you can add it on. And the procedure, that procedure you can write it down in your own way. So he had not written in a proper manner, but you can write in your own way. Arrange the metal rod properly. So you have to make the arrangement of everything. Close the box by a cover sheet to achieve the steady state condition. So metal rod, it has been covered with insulating material that has been explained here. Now start the supply of heat with the help of thermostat and adjust the heat input at some level. So you can adjust the heat input up to 60 or 80 watt. Now note down, once the steady state condition get reached, note down all temperature reading as well as reading of voltmeter and ammeter. Though we in our calculation will not consider voltmeter and ammeter, but still we are noting. Allow water, then after that, once T1 to T9 is been noted, now allow water to flow through metal rod which has been heated. Now when the water has been flow, we can note down the temperature, inlet temperature of water and outlet temperature of water. So note down flow rate reading. Now after that, we can calculate the flow rate after applying the formula. So calculate then we can refer to the procedure for calculating the thermal conductivity of metal rod using the mathematical expression. Now here we have a flow rate of water. We all know it is area into velocity, which is length upon time. So you can apply this formula to calculate the flow rate. And heat flow, now here we have to make clear that the diameter D is the diameter of jar and L is the length of the jar. It is not the diameter of rod and length of the rod. Just do not get confused. So here we are making use the diameter and length of the jar to calculate the flow rate. Once the flow rate is been calculated, we can apply the heat flow rate through a rod and heat flow rate through a water jacket. So if you apply the heat flow through a rod, then you have to consider D is the diameter of the rod. So area is pi by 4 D square. And change of temperature will be T1 minus T9. This is the temperature of the rod, change of temperature. Now, before that, we have to understand the observation table. Now, what is written in the observation table? I've taken only one serial number, the one reading shown here. Now, don't write in this manner. You can write properly in a landscape format, T1, T2, T3, all the 9 temperatures properly. Okay. Now, flow rate is unknown that we have to calculate. Temperature on metal rod, clearly visible. Temperature on metal rod. So it is T1, T2 till T9, we have a 9 number of temperatures. And then we have a water inlet temperature, that is T10. So T10 is given to be 34. That is the atmosphere ambient temperature. You can say water surrounding temperature 34 degrees Celsius. Water outlet temperature after heating, it is increases to 2 degrees Celsius. That is 36 degrees Celsius. So this is the observation table that we have to draw and in a landscape form, and you have to write the reading in a proper manner. And after that, we can start with the calculation. So for a calculation, we have to first calculate the flow rate. So here we have the flow rate. Now the purpose of the calculation is to calculate the K. So we'll first apply the heat flow through a water jacket. So QW is the heat flow through a water jacket, M dot W CPW delta T. So whenever we require to calculate the heat flow and when the heat flow through a fluid, at that time we apply this equation, that is MCP del of T. Okay, and HA del of T we can also use it. So these are the two equations we are using. So in this equation, when the flow rate is come into a picture, at that time we make use of this relation. To apply this relation, we should know what is flow rate, what is CP value, and what is delta T. So CP value, it is constant for water, it is 4.187 kilojoules. So we have to convert into joule, into multiply by 10 raised to 3. And delta T is the temperature change of water. So T11 minus T10. So it is 2 degrees Celsius. It is not 211. Okay, 36 minus 34 is 2 degrees Celsius delta T. Now to calculate the flow rate, so we have the formula to calculate the flow rate. It is area into length divided by time. So area is pi by 4 into D square into L is the length of the jar, which is 30 centimeters. 30 into 10 is to minus 2 divided by time, which is 14.82 seconds. And now this unit, it will be in meter cube per second. So you have to convert into kg. So you have to multiply 1 meter cube is equal to 1000 kg. So you have to multiply with 1000. So the unit will get convert from meter cube per second to kg per second. And the flow rate will be 0.0671. And then similarly, you can apply this formula to get the flow rate of water. So, no, sorry, not flow rate of water, the heat flow rate through a water. So this is the heat flow rate through a water, that is 561. And the same amount of heat is flowing through a rod. So this QW is equal to capital Q. And this capital Q, we are applying the Fodor law of Ka dt by dx. And A is the area of rod, dt is the change of temperature of the rod. And dx is the length of the rod, which is 200 mm, which is zero point 0.2 meter. And then we can apply the above formula, that is q minus k dt by dx. You will get k, q is known from above 561. You will get the k as 14311.22 watt per meter degree Celsius. And here it is explained flow rate of water, heat flow through a water jacket, and thermal conductivity of the rod. And solution, we had also said that the temperature of the bar decreases along the length of the bar. That you can easily understood from this observation table. That is T1 is 59, T2 is 57, 55, 53, 51, 51, 47, 45, 43. So it is decreasing from 59 to 43. So the temperature drop is linear. So I hope it has been clear how the calculation part has been done in this case. So if you want, I can do with the help of Notepad. Okay, how to do the calculation for this? So we are into the metal rod. So if I write it metal rod, so we'll be doing the calculation of a metal rod. We have to calculate the thermal conductivity of a metal rod. So how we can calculate? We have to calculate the thermal conductivity K. So in order to calculate the K, we have to first know the given data of the metal rod. So I just draw the diagram for you, so it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, so the diagram is very simple. This is the metal rod. At one end of the metal rod, heat it is being supplied. So I can consider it is the heater, and the amount of heat will flow in this direction by conduction. Okay, okay, till here. So I can say that so it is being encloses in a asbestos powder. So here we have the asbestos or insulation material. Any material you can use here to protect the loss of heat to the ambient. So I can say this is my insulation, and this is my heater, and this is my metal rod, and we are using copper as a metal rod. And then we can have the cooling jacket as here. So this is the opening of cooling jacket. Okay, so here we have a cooling jacket. So we have a water inlet. It is shown here as in the diagram, and this is the outlet. Okay, I can say this is in and this is out, and it has been filled with the water. I can say this is cooling water jacket. This is your cooling water cooling jacket. And we have a number of temperatures. So I can say we have a temperature here T2, T3, T4. So we have till it is T9. Started from T1. So T1 to T9 temperature, it is engaged, it is arranged on a metal rod, and T in, that is T, I can consider to be T10, and T11 temperature at the outlet. And based on this, we have to calculate this metal rod. Okay. And at the bottom, we have a jar. So I can say here we have a jar. The jar, it is being kept here. In this jar, it will be filled with the water. So we have to, the moment we open the knob, we have to fill the jar with the water, and we have to note down the time, and we have to note down the length till what the jar has been filled. This too is required. Okay. Now when we take this, I can calculate the flow rate from this. So what is the formula to calculate the flow rate? It is area into velocity. So I am taking area into length upon time. Okay. Now to calculate the area, so I can say area is pi by 4 d square into length divided by time. Now what is the diameter of the jar given? So in our case, the diameter of the jar is given to be 6.5 centimeter, and the length of the jar to which the water is filled, it is given to be 30 centimeter. We have to convert into meter. Now when we apply this into flow rate equation, we can calculate the flow rate. So we can apply pi by 4 d square, length is 30 centimeter, and time is given to be, in our case, it is given to be 14.5 seconds. So you can apply here, it is pi by 4 d square, it is 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 the whole square into the length which is given to be 30 centimeter. It is 30 into 10 raised to minus 2. So if I apply this, divided by time. So if I take a time as 14.8 second, I can get the flow rate. So I will be getting the flow rate in a point wise 0.0671 kg per second. So this is the flow rate that we'll be using for our problem solving. Now once we got the flow rate, now we can say the rate of heat flow through rod is equal to rate of heat flow rate of heat flow through water jacket. Okay, now we can only apply the formula in both the cases and we can get the K. So how we can apply? We can apply the formula for now rate of heat flow through a rod. So we can apply Fourier law. So Fourier law is Q is equal to K A dt by dx, and which is equal to rate of heat through water jacket. So here we cannot apply HA del of T because heat transfer coefficient is not given, neither we can calculate. So we can apply the other formula, that is Q is equal to mCp del of T, that is for water. So rate of heat flow through a rod will be equal to the rate of heat flow through a water jacket. Now if I apply the value, K is unknown that we have to calculate. Area will be pi by 4 d square. Now into dt, dt is the change of temperature. So here the change of temperature will be T1 minus T9. That we have to remember, because T1 and T9 is the temperature on the rod, divided by dx is the path length through which heat is getting transferred. So the length of the rod is 200 mm, so it is 0.2 meter. And similarly, flow rate. So flow rate we had calculated just now, which is 0.0671 multiplied by Cp, which is 4.187 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, into del of T. So del of T will be change of temperature. So it will be T11 minus T10. that is 2 degree we had already seen. Okay, so this is the formula we can apply. So here T10, T11 is known, T1, T9 is known, pi by 4 d square. Now d is the diameter of the rod. So here I can write somewhere data with respect to the diameter of the rod. It is given to be, or you can take the length of the, you can take this 25 mm in the given data. So I can write it is 25 mm is the diameter, and change of temperature which can be get it from the observation table, and the dx, that is the path length, which is 0.2 meter. This is the given data that you will be getting it. Now if I resolve this, what I will be getting, k is unknown here, pi by 4 d square, d is 25 mm, t1 t9 is given in the observation table, and t11 t10 is also given in the observation table. So if I equate both the equation, I can get the value of k. Now the value of k, what I will get is 14311. Here it is written. So based on your reading, you can calculate. It is 14311.2222 watt per meter degree Celsius. So this is the value that we are expecting from this experiment. That is K, that is thermal conductivity of given material, that is the copper. Now in this thing, there is one more thing which I had not taken the, I don't think whether I have this or not. You can search on Google and you can get the, or can we stop here? Believe it. You can only,
Yes, sir.
otherwise it will be difficult. I cannot express everything here. Okay. Now the thing is, we had calculated thermal conductivity of the rod, but we had already studied about the thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is a function of the movement of the molecules without displacement of the particles. If I take about solid, so when you apply heat at the one end, the moment, the faster the movement of the molecule depend on the value of K. Higher the value of K, more the movement of the molecule will take place and large amount of heat transfer will take place. Now, what is the relation between the thermal conductivity and temperature? Is that they both are directly correlate with each other, so that if thermal conductivity get increases, temperature will also get increases, or if they are vice versa? What do you think?
Directly.
So, meantime, we are done with the calculation. Okay.